drive new competitive investment that creates quality jobs, career pathways, and diverse talent pipelines, support economic security and mobility for all residents, and collectively build an equitable economy poised for an inclusive and sustainable growth. Ladies and gentlemen, Kelly LoBianco.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will be brief because you've heard from some amazing speakers today already who I feel very simpatico with, of all their ideas and ambitions. And I know I'm the bridge between this great content and some snacks and networking. So thank you for indulging me for a few minutes. But my name is Kelly LoBianco. As you've heard, I am the director of the LA County Department of Economic Opportunity, the county's Economic and Workforce Development Department that was launched in July of 2022. So we're a pretty new agency to the county, but really excited to be here on this topic in this work. We work a lot with Layla, who you heard from the mayor's office, LA 28. A lot of these major events that are coming are partnered with the city, but as you also heard from our other panelists, you've got activities in Long Beach, in South Bay, and so we're really thinking about what is the impact of these coming events, the World Cup in LA 28, as well as just, the entertainment capital of the world becoming the sports entertainment capital of the world on all 4,000 square miles of LA County, and making sure we're lifting up all 88 cities and unincorporated areas and the myriad neighborhoods and communities that exist in our boundaries. So as you heard from our teams, we agree, we see that these events are a way for us to catalyze smart and inclusive economic development in the region, including the growth of sports entertainment as a dynamic industry of focus for us. So I wanted to lift up a couple of the opportunities that I see for workers in businesses and communities with the World Cup in LA 28 in our field division, and also some of the immediate ways that we're starting to get to work. I really liked what the team was saying about pre-arrival. The time is now. Maybe the time was actually yesterday. We've got a couple years in advance to make sure that we are able to realize the full potential of this moment. So I also want to mention that it's important that the dollars that our local residents, especially those who have been historically left out, that they benefit from the major investments that are coming into the region. And so I want to make sure that we're centering that in our conversations, and we will be as we bring the county resources to the table too. For our workforce, these major events and the permanent location of sports entertainment in the region is a job creator. So we talked a little bit about here on the panel, it can afford work-based learning, not just through general development, but work opportunities for our emerging workforce, our youth. You heard that it could be in our colleges around sports entertainment development. It can be in tech as we're thinking about how to operate sports entertainment apparently in the metaverse, or even just down to brass tacks. We've got hospitality and capital investment in making sure that our youth see these opportunities and can connect to them. Customized training for all age levels and all workforces in the region. And making sure that we're really focused on local and targeted worker hire, both in the short term, whether it's transitional work for priority populations, as we're thinking about our state of homeless emergency, or making sure we're supporting individuals on public benefits, or our long-term investments. So there's a lot here that's beyond just the events themselves, although we think about that in terms of the hospitality and the operations and maintenance, but all of that pre-work, whether it's capital development and revitalization of venues, broadband investments to increase the digital divide so folks can take advantage of all the amazing tech innovations that you see, and sort of building out our social infrastructure. We can also create new business opportunities. I know you heard a little bit about the procurement and enterprise development. The county is very, very focused on this as well. We want to make sure that we're increasing certifications, working with new entrepreneurs and small businesses, making sure they're connected, that they get technical assistance, and they're accessing the purchasing power of the county, which is $9 billion every single year, and making sure they're in our ecosystem, so when there are new opportunities for contracting, they know how to leverage them right away, and that we can support them in that. And also, you heard folks talking a little bit about neighborhood activation. So we are very focused on how we'll invest in shop local here in our municipalities across our county and various neighborhoods. and also our work to invest, to attract new sports and entertainment businesses to the region, to create that sort of ongoing ecosystem. And then in terms of communities, we want to make sure that we're emboldening our customer base, our visitors, countywide with municipal and commercial corridor marketing, as well as alignment with event locations, cultural hubs, and transit locations. So these are just a fraction of the ways, again, I know I'm reinforcing what you heard on the panel. There is so many opportunities for economic impact, measurable and immeasurable, and we want to make sure that we're preparing for that. So at the Department of Economic Opportunity, we're actively engaged right now in LA 28's Community Business and Procurement Subcommittee. We're also going to be leading the county's Economic Empowerment Committee, so trying to align all of the 40 departments around economic impact opportunities within the county. And we look forward to coming back to this group over the course of the next year and thinking about ways to engage with stakeholders, thinking about our supplier diversity plans, laying out real KPIs together, and talking about what our action plans are. How can we work together in the next 2 to 4 years to realize some of these opportunities? And then a couple of things that we've already done that I just want to put in folks' ear. We're talking about the events themselves, which we know are moments for tourism and hospitality and those kinds of sectors, but also infrastructure build. Our department is part of Infrastructure LA, an effort to align regional economic development with a host of agencies from public works to sanitation to metro. And a lot of us came together in November to sign the Equity and Infrastructure Project Pledge. And the way it relates here is, although we are reusing a lot of venues in the region, which makes good sense, we also will be revitalizing them. Part of that commitment is making sure small businesses, small diverse businesses have access to new investment, whether it's the bipartisan infrastructure law and the Inflation Reduction Act or new investments from LA 28 and the World Cup. So our department has committed to tripling the number of certified businesses in the region over the next few years. We actually want to blow that out of the water, and that means that we're also going to be supporting, through us and our partners, additional technical assistance and capital for our small businesses. We also are in the process of rolling out, because we are sometimes it feels far away from COVID-19, but still actively recovering as a region. We didn't recover as fast as others, and we know there's still disproportionality among various groups and communities in our region. So we're in the process of investing $160 million in American Rescue Plan funds, much of what we're going to continue to invest in our small business community and our workforce. So we're going to be launching commercial acquisition funds to revitalize vacant properties. We're going to be investing in outreach so that we're connecting to folks early and often and making sure they have the resources that they need to start and grow and thrive as businesses, and much beyond that. So I encourage folks, just a little plug, to stay in touch with us at opportunity.lacounty.gov so you can hear about those opportunities, either to contract with us or promote in your networks. And then finally, I'm excited about some of the work we're doing with our partners at LAEDC around California Jobs First. We have the pleasure of serving as the affinity hub for municipal partners, because we know that it's going to be really, really critical to align our cities, our COGs, and various partners around our efforts here. And so we want to make sure that as we're thinking about our recovery, future inclusive economic development, and preparation for these events, that we really come together as a region, and we hope that DEO can be a partner in that. And so then before I close, just to hearken some of our panel, I was really struck by the idea of pre-arrival. That was sort of the theme of my few words here too, which is we have to prepare and get coordinated. It can be difficult with a geography and governance structures like we have here in the region. But what we do well, as we talked about folks landing in LAX and might be not having the language capacity or knowledge of our city and county, we do cultural diversity and competency well here. So I know we're going to show up for our visitors from across the globe. And I'm really grateful for this moment with you all to harness the moment and gain some momentum and make sure that every dollar that comes into LA County because of these events inspires multipliers of impact for our communities, that we can measure and that is felt and really perceived by our communities. I look forward to that journey with you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelly. So this is the wrap up, and for those of you who've seen many of you before, I like to do some takeaways as well. A couple of things. So for those of you who don't know, the Olympic Games, we've been talking about how massive it is. Paris, they're getting ready for about 15 million visitors in about a month's time. So we can anticipate that LA will be hosting more. And just in comparison, if I'm getting the numbers right, each day of the Olympic game is equivalent to 15 Super Bowls. This is just for the Olympic Games. And then the Paralympic Games is 7 Super Bowls per day. And during that time and before getting ready for it, there's going to be close to 100,000 contracts that will be issued. Anything that we talked about from the technology and some of the futuristic things that we have to think about. So as we're going into the stadium, right, we're heard from, I think Luke was mentioning earlier, that it can facilitate your going to shorter lines to the bathroom or whatever it is. But we've also been working with our international partners. We went to Japan for a trade mission before 2020, before the Tokyo Olympic game, and saw that Panasonic developed the smart city approach, where as you're getting close, your phone, RFID, NFC, all these different technology allows them to basically, once you scan your mobile entry, they know where you are. So as you're walking close, all of a sudden, they're gonna start advertising to you. Are you thirsty for a cold beer? Please go this way to booth number 17 to do crowd control as well as facilitation. And as we're moving forward, you're going to start seeing facial recognition being utilized. So all of that will really enhance experience, but at the same time, as we're talking about AI, as we're talking about data security, how do we make sure that we have the ability to address all those issues? Other issues that might need some additional conversation, this is one of many. So this Olympic game and Paralympic Games is promised to be a car-free Olympic game. We're in LA. It's fantastic, right? But we're in LA. This is not going to happen by itself. How do we coordinate this? And then Kelly also mentioned the geography. And most of you guys know this, but for our international partners, they don't know the difference between Los Angeles and Beverly Hills and West Hollywood. Why is there not what is Hollywood? What is North Hollywood? What's West Hollywood? Why isn't there a South Hollywood? Which one is the city? Which is an incorporated region, right? They don't know the difference. So coming together, you're talking about coordinating 88 different cities, over 100 incorporated regions with 10 million residents. That represents 140 nationalities that speaks 224 languages. That's the power, that's LA, but that's also the challenge of LA. All that said, is the wrap up that we're talking about. It's about partnership. We can't do this by hoping for the best. And that's why, as Layla was mentioning, some of these master plan that's going to be available, it's going to be very important, but that requires all of us to be engaged. And that's why this conversation is one of many. And so as we're leaving, this is about engagement. So LADC, what we're hoping to do is not only to basically share some information with you, but really a call to action is these events will basically become our programmatic activities for the next year. So LADC will be leading a sports and entertainment industry council. So if you've been to our previous events, we've done this for the bioscience industry, the aerospace, defense, and space exploration industry. The goal is to use our 5-pillar approach using research, industry cluster development, business assistance, international trade, and workforce development, combine them together to move one ecosystem or one industry at a time. At the core of it is that we want to bring together all our partners here and beyond to basically bring together an industry council that will guide this blueprint, this process, exactly who's going to do what when. So when folks are coming in as a small business, I have the ability to sell t-shirts. Do we go to Layla for a procurement, kind of training? If I have another, kind of tech product to sell, what do we do? How do we work with Verizon to make sure that 5G technology is available? All those different things, you need a blueprint. So LADC hopes to engage with you. Right in the front, Jermaine Hampton is with us. He's the Vice President of Special Projects and Workforce Development. If you can stand up and wave, go to him. He's going to be the person, as we're networking, that will help engage all of you in this activity. Because combined together, we have the ability to really move forward. I also wanted to highlight one of the things that Luke said, to remind us not to move too far in the future without looking behind. COVID-19 was devastating and we want to move forward. But don't forget, during the first 2 months of COVID-19, LA County lost 780,000 jobs in 2 months. It took us over 2.5 years to recover, and the jobs are not the same. These opportunities are coming up, are so vital to our economic vitality. Other regions, like I mentioned earlier, are telling our story. Texas is telling our story. Arizona is telling our story. They want to take the businesses from us and move to another location. But we have this amazing opportunity to bring together the sports entertainment sector, whether it's the Rams, whether it's esports and gaming, whether it's Taylor Swift and Beyonce. Like, we have it here. Let's not waste it. So with all that said, there's a lot to do. We hope to see you again. This conversation doesn't stop. Please go to ladc.org to get more information about our industry council and our upcoming events. Our next Future Forum will be on April 11th on the future of aerospace and defense.